Make You Happen podcast with Sanjay Desai, a podcast that will empower you in achieving everyday success.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the episode 4 of the Make You Happen podcast. Over these few episodes, I will be sharing with you some key lessons from my entrepreneurial journey. External events play a substantial role in entrepreneurship since you are directly engaged with the world to make your impact. I would like to share the top 3 types of external challenges that are very common. They also shape me through the journey. A. Failures. B. Co-creation blame game. And C. Big shifts. When we are toddlers, one of the first highlights of growing up is learning to walk. As we walk, climb, run, and jump, there is one thing that we always hear: do not fall. A lot of fuss is made about falling or not falling. It is meant physically, but it gets etched onto our minds that it is bad to fall. At school, the word fall becomes fail. Do not fail, do not fail. Failing is bad, invites punishment, invites disdain, and even ridicule. Our minds get conditioned. It is bad to fail, I am not good enough. I am inadequate if I fail. And this severely affects our self-belief and confidence levels. As we grow up and confront the world, there are so many new variables we don't understand and we are not prepared for. Is it at all possible then not to fail? In an entrepreneurial journey, this happens every other day. We are acting and exposing ourselves to the unknown or hidden world every day. We are vulnerable every day. Handling failures is one of the first lessons I had to learn. I wasn't used to failures. I was always committed, took responsibility, and delivered what was expected of me. But throughout education and corporate career, there is always a given structure to work with. If there was failure in interfacing with the external, there was tolerance for it so long as you'd given your best. But in entrepreneurship, you are directly responsible. At Orient Pro and ChiroLeaf, the analytics startup, we used to offer solutions for the financial services sector. More often than not, it would be impossible to be familiar with a new prospective client's culture or specific requirements. We would have to make guesses, like playing blind. The making of any deal had so many variables. The chemistry between the prospect and us, the perception that we would project about our capabilities, the solution fit, pricing, our capability to deliver, competitive bids, and most importantly, our persuasion power and will to succeed. Now, how often could everything come together to give us a win? What I'm saying is no rocket science. This is what everyone faces in the market. Great men have always said it is failures that lead to success. And yet, how often do we accept it or talk about it? Failure has this blot. No one wants to utter the words that I failed. It is as if we become a zero. Whenever I failed, I would promptly get into a dark mood. No one would dare approach me. Overshadowed by my dark mood, I would not be able to see things clearly. My first sentiment: oh, the world is so unfair. Next, it all went wrong because of so and so. Then the cribbing starts. My plans have gone haywire, the cash will not come in, my target will not be met, my expansion plans will get delayed, so on and so forth. The whole world feels fallen down upon you. I would feel trapped, frustrated, and depressed. Gradually, I learned that failure is all about accepting that things did not go my way. Isn't reality frequently different from what we imagine it to be? If I was out of sync with the way things were in the first place, how can the force of my action make things go my way? I began realizing this. I just learned that results actually reflect things about my perceptions. With this understanding, I had to learn to pick myself up after falls, treat them just as a happening rather than feeling beaten up. To help me do that, I visualize how a spontaneous child picks herself up without a care in the world after a fall. She doesn't have the ego that hurts her in doing that. Once the acceptance is there, failure becomes a mirror as to what needs to change at my end. Failures also made me patient and realistic about my expectations. My next major lesson came from co creation. I shared in the earlier episodes how I was fortunate to meet Aarti, my wife. We had shared interest in spiritual philosophy and J. Krishnamurti. Now, this is naturally quite a boon in understanding each other in living our co created life. Nevertheless, we are different individuals with differing perspectives. We have differing goals and agendas for every moment, however one we may appear from outside. Do you agree? Now, let's take this understanding to a wider base, beyond a couple of family. With whoever we share a common goal and experience, we are co creators. Thus, we are co creators with our business partners, colleagues, clients, investors, and customers too. We co create with everyone for a short term or a long term, on a deal basis or a relationship basis. With them too, our personal worldview at all times is distinct and different. Even when we come together for a common goal, the reward for each co creator holds a different meaning to each one. The thing is, we are unconscious about this and expect the other to see things in the same way as me, especially in the long term relationships. Now, change is a constant flow. Whenever a significant change happens in my co creator's life, the balance between two co creators is bound to wobble and even tumble. But we believe that nothing can change or separate us. There's this glamorous and romantic spirit of mutual trust, openness, and even sacrifice to which many of us are subconsciously attracted to. Remember Sholay? ये दोस्ती हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे. Oh, how appealing that song always is. We even start feeling entitled to such oneness and expect the same from the other. But the oneness is transitory and subject to shifts in circumstances. In my entrepreneurial journey, I experienced this several times. You might remember that my British partner just left me in my early days. Disagreements arise with partners at times of crisis or significant changes. Even clients leave you high and dry without payment. Prospective clients invite you to small freebie projects as a carrot to large ones. Take your models and give the projects to someone else. The more informal the engagement, greater the chances of this happening. I would feel really cheated and deceived when such events happen. That would bring in the next wave of emotions, feeling victimized and blame game. This badly wounds and affects one's confidence and self-belief, leading you once again to despair about the world being unfair. Now, as an entrepreneur, whom can you speak with about such deceptions? If you speak with your team, you would be seen as weak and incapable, isn't it? Once, I let my frustration out with Ma Krishnanandi. I said to her, Ma, you keep talking about seva and seva and seva. But do you understand how one gets used in the real world? She turned around and said, so what? You have come to this world to be of use to others. Now, this was a penny drop for me. My perspective changed from that day. We are being used by each other all the time, irrespective of what kind of relationship we are in. And this is integral to all co creation. Whether explicit or not, each person has their own agenda and expectations. When change comes, the balance will no longer hold. Everyone is vulnerable and their sense of security changes. That is when people will protect themselves, go back on implied promises and equations. It may or may not be the intention to harm. It is just that you are in the way of their revised goal. We often see this in Hollywood movies, isn't it? Nothing personal, they all say. But do we ever relate it back to our lives? Life is not obliged to meet my expectations of fairness. It's best to accept it as it is. Even if the other party has taken advantage, I'm the one that gave them the opportunity to do so by not spelling out mutual roles and expectations and getting them to sign up on them. To do that, I have to be clear about my values, my role, my expectations vis-a-vis others. Was I clear? Or did I assume certain things about myself and about the other? Did I assume that we are one? Especially in Asia, we are not in a culture where everything is spelled out or where transparency is demanded. We feel kind of ashamed to do that. Therefore, one has to learn to spell out roles and expectations, draw boundaries, protect and defend oneself in any pursuit of co-creation. Now let's move to the third common type of hurdle that upsets our apple cart. I would like to call this big shifts. They pull the carpet from under us. We are all aware of the COVID shifts over 2021. A similar big shift happened during the financial crisis of 2008. Of course, I would also like to include events like mergers and acquisitions, going bankrupt, physical calamities, or even technology disruptions. In the previous episode, I narrated the impact of financial crisis of 2008 on us. Now, once again, in such events, the first impact is emotional. Everyone suddenly becomes negative and defensive, and everyone jostles to protect themselves first. We just covered the impact of co-created relationships. Therefore, any two people's worlds can turn upside down. And once that happens, there is a domino effect on everybody else. It feels as if Saturn is paying you a visit to get redemption for your karmas of excesses during the times of prosperity. This is because we just don't understand what happened. What goes up comes down is such a common, and it's an adage which is there for like forever. Astrologers call this the Shani impact or Ketu or Pluto impact on the world. Apparently, these micro impacts affect all our micro plans as per them. Nassim Taleb also says, be prepared for the black swan events. But we are never prepared. The only thing you can do to handle such events is survive and accept the consequences. We can't fight the circumstances or assert our willpower in these conditions. In my journey, we rejigged our plans. We restructured the organization to consolidate what we already had, and we retracted away from our growth objectives. In that process, I also moved out of Orient Pro to work on the Consciously platform. In Chinese I Ching, which is Chinese astrology, there is a behavior pattern called treading a tiger's tail. They believe that if you follow the tiger in harmony to its movement, there is power to gain. But treading the tiger's tail is also perilous. It can bite you as well. Big shifts remind me of tigers. They also invariably bring new opportunities. But even to see them First, you have to come out of your emotional darkness, accept the consequences you get, whether fair or not. Only then you can spot new opportunities. Else, big shifts are famous for gobbling you up. So, friends, we just went through three of the most impactful external hurdles in an entrepreneurial journey. Over the years, I began realizing that it is our response to these events that has a lasting impact on us. It is not the events themselves. In case of failures, picking myself up every time and transcending my deep conditioning of not facing failures. In case of victim complex, I had to transcend my conditioning that life has to be fair. It is not. To protect myself, I have to learn to draw boundaries, and for that, I have to be clear about myself vis-a-vis the other. In case of big shifts, I have to accept the consequences and go back to the drawing board to adjust to the new world. In all cases, the immediate impact is of our emotions getting intensely triggered, taking us down with them. Now, this is instinctive and natural, but we have to come out of our emotional dump first. Many of you would have heard pain happens, but suffering is always up to us. Now, what all of this is pointing towards is that it finally comes down to you. How do you manage yourself? Self-management. If I can learn to manage myself, my emotions, my behavioral tendencies, I have a chance to withstand and overcome anything, whether it's failures, co-creation challenges, or big shifts. Over the next episodes, I will share with you some self-management challenges and what does it take to handle them. Looking forward to being with you again next week. I am really excited. Thank you for being with me today. Bye-bye.
Make You Happen podcast with Sanjay Desai, a podcast that will empower you in achieving everyday success.